हाँ,
ओके, स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो इसका एक वेरिएंट ये है, एंड देन लेट्स मूव ऑन टू अ डिफरेंट थिंग वेयर यू डोंट ग्राउंड एनी ऑफ द प्लेट्स but you connect two of the plates to each other. So it's just a variation on this problem जो अभी हमने किया है, except that the additional feature is कि for example let's say that I have this structure and these two are separated by a D and these two are separated by a 3D, and let's say that I have given Q charge to this minus 3Q charge to this and nothing to this guy, and then I'm going to, there is a switch S, and let's say you have to find charge through switch when it is closed. When the switch is closed, after the switch is closed, how much charge flows through the switch? ओके, लेट मी वेरीफाई। आंसर मुझे भी नहीं पता, ऐसे बनाया मैंने। I'll quickly solve it and tell you the answer. नंदन करेक्ट आंसर है, बाकी किसी का करेक्ट नहीं है। वही लॉजिक लगाना है फिर से। जीत करेक्ट नहीं है। Total charge on the whole conductor as a whole must be conserved. Since the opposite faces have equal and opposite charge, the net charge must show up on the outside, as well as the fact that you are connecting these two, so they are both at the same potential. Right? Wait 1 second. Yeah, sorry. So they must be both at the same potential. And वही वही बात है कि क्योंकि तुम प्लेट का पोटेंशियल की एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू तो नहीं लिख सकते हो, तो डिफरेंस लिख सकते हो with one common plate. And the difference of potential between these two plates can be written in terms of the field here and also the field here, right? So once you write that equation, you should get how much are the charges on all faces. Setu correct me. Let me know when to solve. Nishi correct answer है. Rajas correct answer है. आर्यन गलत है. Should I solve it? Okay, so once you close the switch, the first and the third plates are at the same potential. The total charge, the net charge on the system is minus 2q, q and minus 3q. So the total charge is minus 2q. So half of it must show up on the outer faces. Again, for the same reason, because inner faces will always have equal and opposite charges. So the net of the inner faces will be 0. That's sort of the cavity in the conductor. And since the total conductor has a total charge of minus 2q, symmetrically half of it must show on either external face. Right? बट अब जब मैं इधर चार्ज लिखूंगा इसके राइट फेस पे, तो आई कांट से कि इसका टोटल क्यू था तो इसीलिए अब माइनस क्यू है तो इधर प्लस 2q. The charge on this plate by itself is not conserved any longer because it's in connection with the third plate. I cannot simply conserve the charge on this plate by itself because these two will have exchanged charge. The total on them is conserved. That much is true. The total on these two must be q because it was q and 0 initially. But by itself I cannot conserve. So since I have no way of knowing how much that is, I will put a variable x here.
Sir, overall we can't conserve.
Overall I can conserve. Overall I mean to say, first of all, the totality of the charge on the 3 should be conserved.
Yes, sir.
Out of which, since this is conserved by itself, because it's not connected to anything, these two are also conserved together. Meaning, since the first and the third plate had a combined charge of q, they must always have a combined charge of q. So since I put minus q on the outer faces, the inner faces must have such charges so that the sum of these four, left, right, must be q.
Got it, sir.
Which will come out to be correct, you will see. So once I put x here, I have to put minus x here. And once I put minus x here, I have to put minus 3q plus x here. This is on this face. Because the total charge on this plate, middle plate, must always remain minus 3q. And as a consequence of having conserved charge on this, automatically I will have charge conservation on these two, you will see. I have to put the opposite of that, so that's minus x plus 3q on this face. And if you add these four, you will get q back. Does this make sense to all of you so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. तो अब labeling हो गया charges का. Now I have to simply say that if I call this plate 1 and plate 2 and plate 3, since plate 3 and plate 1 are connected to each other, their potentials are equal, but since I have no way of writing the potential of a plate by itself, what I can do instead is write their potential differences from plate 2 and equate them. Since V1 equals to V3, therefore V12 is equals to V32 delta. Which means, अब मैं मैग्नीट्यूड्स कर रहा हूं, तो अब इसमें ये ध्यान रखो, वही चीज जो हम पीछे कर रहे थे, वो साइन वाइन का एरर हो गया था. अगर तुम इधर का फील्ड देखो, या तो तुम लिख सकते हो x बाय एप्सिलॉन नॉट. इस रीजन में जो फील्ड है वो लिख सकते हो. x तो नहीं है, x बाय एरिया होगा सिग्मा. x इज द एब्सोल्यूट चार्ज, सो x बाय एरिया ऑफ द प्लेट इज सिग्मा एंड सिग्मा बाय एप्सिलॉन नॉट इज द फील्ड, सो इट्स x a बाय एप्सिलॉन नॉट. बट क्योंकि मैं उधर से भी इक्वेट करने वाला हूं, उधर भी a बाय एप्सिलॉन नॉट आने वाला है, तो आई माइट एज वेल जस्ट से x, राइट. अगर मैं इधर से x लेने वाला हूं तो मेरे को ये वाला चार्ज लेना चाहिए. तो या तो मेरे को ये और ये चार्ज लेना चाहिए, या फिर इसी प्लेट का इधर वाला और इधर वाला लेना चाहिए, तो ही करेक्ट साइन आएगा. अगर मैं इधर से x बाय एप्सिलॉन नॉट ले लेता हूँ, मतलब इधर का फील्ड अगर मैं x के प्रोपोर्शनल ले लेता हूँ, लेकिन उधर का फील्ड अगर मैं माइनस 3q प्लस एक्स के प्रोपोर्शनल ले लेता हूँ, तो गलत साइन आ जाएंगे. सो आई विल से x मतलब x by a, which is the sigma, by epsilon naught, which is the field, into 3d, which makes it the potential difference between plate 1 and 2. इक्वल्स -3q प्लस एक्स, सॉरी मैंने उधर वाला लिया ना, -x प्लस 3q by a by epsilon naught into d. Did you all understand this? Either I have to take these two for the field in this region, or I have to take these two. ठीक? And solving for this, you will get x, which will come out to be 3q by 4. बराबर. अब जब x 3q by 4 आ गया, तो मैं अब सब पे वापस से चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर देता हूँ. देखो क्या हो जाएगा वो. Which will give me a
So once again, the previous page.
देखिए. x 3q by 4 आने से मेरे पास आ गया कि -q here plus 3q by 4 here minus 3q by 4 here plus 9q by minus 9q by 4 here. So that -9 minus 3 is -12 divided by 4 is -3, which is what this plate had. And इधर -9q by 4 है, तो इसके सामने +9q by 4 और -q. And these are connected. So you can see that the charge is conserved properly on all plates individually. And now how much charge would have gone through the switch? Look at any one plate. This plate initially used to have a total charge of +q initially. And after the switch was closed, it now has a total charge of -q by 4. -q on the outside, 3q by 4 on the inside. So clearly, it has ended up losing 5q by 4 positive charge to that plate. So that its leftover charge is -q by 4. So 5q by 4 positive charge has flown from the left to the right via the switch. Make sense? All right. So there are three variations on the plate problems. Either they are not connected to each other, in which case you take total charge by 2, put outside, and then conservation of charge and equal and opposite on the faces. That will do the job. Then the second variation is 2 plates out of them are connected, in which case you again put total by half on the outside. But now you don't individually conserve charge, you put variables x, -x and whatever. And then you equate the potential differences with these plates. If these two had been connected, had these two been connected to each other, then you would have to find the potential difference between 1 and 3 and 2 and 3. And then equate that. Do you guys follow what I'm saying?
So could you tell that again?
Let us do that. The same problem with the same data, plus q minus 3q. But now the switch is going to connect plate 1 to plate 2. Again, find charge through switch.
So distance is not given.
Same as in the previous 3D. D. Try this out.
Sir,
Yeah.
will you be doing theory revision also?
So which part?
No, no, I'm just asking, means generally the chapters,
Mhm.
will you be doing the theory revision? Or will you be doing the specific doubts?
आई थिंक बेटर तो यही है कि क्वेश्चंस करते हैं और क्वेश्चंस में ही आई विल पिक क्वेश्चंस
Okay, sir.
which basically relate to different parts, main parts of the theory, and when we are doing the problem we discuss the theory related to the problem also. Plus if you have suggestions while we are doing a particular chapter, if there are certain topics in which you have problems or you want to be covered, then we can pick them up also separately. I think that's better than doing the chapter from scratch, starting with the first thing and then going through it. It's a lot of time taking. Prajas, okay, let me just check for myself also. I haven't solved this. In this case, there is one thing that you can say directly because I've connected two opposing plates to each other. It should be rather easy. You don't actually have to Anishi, you will not need to, because if you're connecting adjacent plates, then one nice thing happens. Nishi correct answer है, Anvay correct answer है, Arnav correct answer है, Rajesh correct answer है, Abhinav गलत है, अमन गलत है, नंदन गलत है, ध्रुव गलत है, मुक्ता करेक्ट है. अमन गलत है. हिंट दूं मैं? If you are connecting the first and the second plate together, which are adjacent plates, unlike this case where there is a plate in the middle. So you were saying by connecting these two plates, you have made these two at the same potential. By connecting these two plates, you would make them at the same potential. So if these two plates are at the same potential, meaning there is no potential difference between them, then as you move in this interior region from a plate to another plate, what kind of field should you find?
0.
None, right?
Yes,
Because if these inner faces have some charge, then there will be a non-zero field, and it will be a uniform field. It will always point in one direction, either this way or this way. And moving through it, you will aggregate some non-zero potential difference. As you move through a field, a uniform field in one direction only, you will end up generating some potential difference. But that should not be the case since these two plates are at the same potential. So the only possible outcome is that there is no field between these two plates, meaning these faces have zero charge each. Problem solved, right? Since V1 equals to V2, that is delta V12 is 0, E12 must also be 0. मतलब the field in this region. तो जो distribution of charges है वो ये हो जाएगा. Total charge अभी भी minus 2q है. तो इधर और इधर तो minus q आएगा ही. इधर 0, इधर 0, इधर माइनस क्यू है तो इधर जो है प्लस क्यू होगा क्योंकि इस पे भी नेट कंजर्व्ड है टोटल. ये अकेला प्लेट है, इस पे 0 चार्ज है टोटल तो बाद में भी. और इसके इधर वाले फेस पे माइनस क्यू. तो माइनस क्यू 0, 0 माइनस क्यू प्लस क्यू माइनस क्यू. दैट्स इट. So then how much
sir, I
charge?
took it as x and I got x as 3q.
Did you, by equating this and this potential difference to this and this potential difference?
Yes, sir.
So then you have probably made a sign error. Because anyway, if you are saying, how do you find this and this potential difference? It is the algebraic sum of this potential difference and this potential difference.
Oh, okay.
And
Yes,
if that
sir.
is equal to this by itself, then this is automatically 0.
Correct.
Okay. So, and now this plate used to have plus q. Now it has minus q. So clearly 2q has flown from plate 1 to plate 3. आयुष x मेथड से भी कर लो, कोई बात नहीं. ये अभी यही पूछ रहा था कि x मेथड से अगर करेंगे माइनस क्यू एक्स माइनस एक्स वॉट एवर एंड देन इस पे तो प्लस क्यू माइनस क्यू होना ही है. तो एक्चुअली
एक
x जो
मिनट
है
एक्स मेथड से भी करो ना एक बार.
हाँ, लेकिन मैं कह रहा हूँ कि उससे x जो है ट्रिवियली आंसर आ जाएगा. वही मैं बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि देखो जब तुम
ट्रिवियली आ गया लाइक
हाँ,
जस्ट कंजर्वेशन से.
yeah, you will not have to write any. When you say the moment you what is the first thing you say? Total charge का हाफ हाफ बाहर डाल दो. डाल दिया. सबसे easiest thing अगला सरफेस कौन सा है? ये वाला सरफेस है क्योंकि ये प्लेट आइसोलेटेड है. एक्स तो बाद में आएगा. एक्स तो तब आता है जब मुझे पता नहीं अब उधर क्या करना है. तो जिधर पता है उधर तो मैं लिख ही सकता हूँ पहले. ये प्लेट अकेला है, इस पे 0 चार्ज है तो हमेशा 0 होना चाहिए. जब मैं इस पे माइनस क्यू से डाल दिया तो प्लस क्यू आ गया. इधर प्लस क्यू डालते ही ऑटोमेटिकली इधर माइनस क्यू आना चाहिए क्योंकि ऑपोजिट फेस पे इक्वल एंड अपोजिट होना चाहिए. जैसे ही इधर माइनस क्यू आया और इधर माइनस क्यू ऑलरेडी था, तो x का कहानी ही खत्म हो गया, क्योंकि टोटल इन पे मिला के -2q ही है। तो तुम लिख दोगे x तो उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, लाइक यू वोंट हैव टू एक्चुअली राइट एन इक्वेशन टू सॉल्व फॉर x, because the moment you write -q here and you have written -q here and you apply conservation of charge on these two, you are left with nothing but 0. So even if you did not go via the reasoning of saying ki since they are at the same potential, therefore the field between them must be 0, therefore the charge on those faces must be 0, even if you forget that line of reasoning and simply do by the procedure, which is take total, divide by 2, put on this, then put on whichever you can easily write. तो मैंने प्लस क्यू लिखा, यहाँ पे ऑपोजिट में माइनस क्यू लिखा, प्रॉब्लम वहीं खत्म हो गया। 0 0 ऑटोमेटिक कॉन्सिक्वेंस है उसको, ठीक है। ऑलराइट, तो ये तो पैरेलल प्लेट्स का हो गया लॉजिक। इसका जो दूसरा ज्योमेट्री है, इसी सेटअप का जो दूसरा ज्योमेट्री है, इज अ सिस्टम ऑफ कॉन्सेंट्रिक कंडक्टिंग शेल्स which pretty much follows the same logic. If you are, the only thing is the extra equation that is available to you over there is that you can actually write the formula for the potential of a particular spherical shell, something you cannot do for an infinite plate. There is no formula for writing the absolute potential of an infinite plate of charge, but you can write the formula for the potential of a sphere, kq by uska radius. So when you have a system of concentric shells and you have to write the potential of any one out of those shells, you know how to write it. If it's inside, then it has its own potential kq by its own radius, then the potential due to everybody who's bigger than it, and that's basically kq by b, kq by c, right? क्योंकि हर शेल के अंदर अपना constant potential होता है, potential is sort of superimposed on each other. You have one shell which is the tiniest shell that has its own potential, then it is placed inside a bigger shell, so the bigger shell brings its own uniform, one second, the bigger shell brings its own uniform potential and puts it on top of that, so that adds to that value. And then if you put more and more shells on top of each other, like first of all I have this shell, it has some charge on it and it has some radius. Let's say its radius is a and charge is qa, so its own potential is kqa by a, which is everywhere within its body including its surface. Uniform potential है, right? Constant होता है हर जगह शेल के अंदर, तो एक वैल्यू आ गया यहाँ पर, मान लो इस पे बड़ा शेल डाल दोगे जिस पे चार्ज क्यू बी है और उसका रेडियस बी है, तो अगर तुम अंदर वाला शेल भूल भी जाओ भी, तो इस पूरा शेल का अपना पोटेंशियल अपने चार्ज के कारण अपनी बॉडी में अंदर हर जगह यूनिफॉर्म होता था, के क्यू बी बाई बी। अब क्योंकि वो इस पे भी पड़ रहा है, तो इस रीजन में टोटल जो है ऐड हो गया, के क्यू बाय ए, के क्यू ए बाय ए प्लस के क्यू बी बाई बी। तीसरा चढ़ा दिया उसके ऊपर, वो एक तीसरा शेल है जिसका अपना पोटेंशियल अपनी बॉडी के अंदर हर जगह सेम होता था, के क्यू सी बाई सी, तो वो इन दोनों पे भी आ गया। तो इस रीजन में पोटेंशियल के क्यू बी बाय बी, इस रीजन का पोटेंशियल क्या होगा? विल इट सिंपली बी के क्यू बी बाय बी प्लस के क्यू सी बाय सी?
This KQA by BB तो होगा, like due to the smallest
Correct.
shell.
And not B, variable R.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the shell. Yeah, variable R.
हाँ, ये जो रीजन है इसमें वेरिएबल पोटेंशियल है, ये रीजन में भी वेरिएबल पोटेंशियल है, बाहर के रीजन में भी वेरिएबल पोटेंशियल है, इनर के अंदर कांस्टेंट पोटेंशियल है, क्योंकि वो तीन कांस्टेंट पोटेंशियल्स का एडिशन है। लेकिन जब तुम ए शेल और बी शेल के बीच के रीजन में होते हो, तो वहां पे बी शेल का तो कांस्टेंट होता है उस रीजन पे, सी शेल का भी उस रीजन में कांस्टेंट होता है, लेकिन ए शेल के बाहर है तो उसका वेरिएबल होता है फॉलिंग विद डिस्टेंस। So then it depends on where exactly in this region you are. You have two constant terms and a variable term. Similarly, if you are in this region between the B and the C shell, you have a constant potential due to the C shell, no matter where in this gap you are. But due to the B and the A shell, you have variable potential depending on how far you are from the common center, because you are outside of both of those shells and they have a dropping potential when you are outside. In the outermost region, which is outside all shells, you always have a variable potential because you are outside all shells. And then depending on how far you are from the common center, you have basically KQA plus K into QA plus QB plus QC by R. Once you are exterior to any spherical charge distribution, that spherical charge distribution can be collapsed to the center as a point charge. So then it's simply QA plus QB plus QB का potential at distance R. The region which is inside the interior, the innermost shell के अंदर का region, उसके अंदर तुम कहीं भी चले जाओ. There is no variability based on distance. Right? If I wanted to plot this potential as a function of distance from center, then up till A, I would have a constant value. Then up till B, I would have a variable value. Up till C, I would have a variable value. And further on, I would also have a variable value. So up till A, it would just be KQA by A plus KQB by B plus KQC by C. Then from there on, it would fall, right, as 1 by R. There would be two constant terms. I mean, in this region, there would be two constant terms. So partly some and then some fall from there like this. And then once I'm in this region, there would be one constant term, the C term, and the other two would be variable, right? So it would go like that. And then outside, it would just be going asymptotically to 0 as you get to infinity. Okay. And the potential on the surface of any shell can be written easily. इसका तो यही है KQA by A plus KQB by B plus KQC by C. इसका तो इंटीरियर और सरफेस मिला के सेम ही पोटेंशियल है. इसके सरफेस पे you have KQA by A plus KQB by B plus KQC by C because you are interior of it. KQA by B, right, because you're outside. Similarly, on this surface, you have KQC by C, but due to A and B, it is KQB by C and KQA by C because R is the value C here. ठीक है. And then इसमें ये वेरिएशंस होंगे जो इस टाइप के सिस्टम में वेरिएशंस होते हैं. और इसमें भी ये ट्रू है कि ऑपोजिट फेसेस पे अगर इधर तुम कुछ प्लस क्यू डाल रहे हो तो इसके ऑपोजिट फेस पे माइनस क्यू डालोगे फॉर द सेम रीजन. For that plus q, this minus q is the end of the universe. So all field lines must terminate there. This is a universe in itself. This is a universe in itself. And then you can connect multiple shells. Like I connect 1 to 3 and then ask you to find the new distribution of charges. Again, the same logic applies. Total charge is conserved and charges on opposite faces are same. Plus also, the two shells you have connected together, you can equate their potential directly. You don't have to do a difference with some shell. You can simply write the potential of the shell, simply write the potential of the shell, equate, and you'll get the missing variable.
So, so can you explain the graph again, please?
This graph is basically ऐसे कर लो इसको. If I have this shell which has QA charge and A radius, then I have QB charge and B radius, and I have QC charge and C radius. So first of all, the potential here, if I want to make a plot of potential with R, the landmark places are A, B, C, and beyond. Over here, the value of the potential is K, QA by A plus QB by B plus QC by C. On this shell, the potential is K, QA by B plus QB by B plus QC by C.
Got it, sir.
Okay. So this value is slightly smaller than this value because this B is replacing A here and B is bigger than A. Otherwise, it is the same. And last wale shell ke liye, you have K into QA also by C, QB also by C, QC also by C, which is the smallest of these three values. So first of all, these are the three values on the surfaces, meaning this is the value here, this is the value here, this is the value here. If I'm calling this VC, I'm calling this VB, I'm calling this VA, then VA is here, VB is here, VC is here. And inside A, I have a constant value. Moving within this, I don't find a variation of potential because I'm inside common uniform potentials. Once I start going outside, the value has to fall from this value to that value, and it falls as 1 by r. Then it has to fall as 1 by r here, and then it has to fall to 0 as also 1 by r. Okay. All right. ओके, कैपेसिटर से रिलेटेड कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स कर लेंगे सर. Let's say that I have some capacitor which is charged to plus q minus q initially and is of capacitance C. Via a resistance, I'm going to connect it to another capacitor of capacitance 2C and initially zero charge, and this is the resistance R. Okay. Find the charge left on capacitor at t equal to 0. हम switch बंद करेंगे, connect करेंगे at time t. After connection is made. आशुतोष, आई एम अज्यूमिंग तुम्हारा एक्सपोनेंट में टाइम नेगेटिव साइन के साथ है. तो उस लिहाज से इनफाइनाइट टाइम पे तो ये क्यू दे रहा है. Which is not the final outcome of this system, right? That capacitor can't be left with the same charge as it started with. अर्नब, तुम्हारे में डायमेंशनल इशू है कुछ. ब्रैकेट में सब कुछ डायमेंशनलेस है, तो जो बच रहा है उसकी डायमेंशन चार्ज नहीं है फिर. लाइक इफ यू पुट सम टाइम लाइक 0 और व्हाटएवर, यू आर नॉट गेटिंग चार्ज. निशी करेक्ट लग रहा है. नहीं निशी, सी वाले कैपेसिटर पे तुम बता रही हो टी टाइम पे, राइट? सो इनफाइनाइट टाइम पे तेरा ये हो जाएगा. बट इज दैट द करेक्ट चार्ज रिमेनिंग ऑन दैट गाय? बिकॉज
So voltage तो सेम, लाइक V तो सेम ही आ रहा है.
हाँ, तो Q/C सेम आना चाहिए.
हाँ, Q/C सेम आ रहा है.
नहीं, तो तुमने जो लिखा है वो तो ये इस पे बचा हुआ चार्ज है ना.
No sir, that's the charge on.
You're
Oh
talking about
wait.
this. ठीक है,
हाँ
okay. You're
हाँ हाँ.
reporting this. Fine. अन्वय, एक्सपोनेंट करेक्ट नहीं है.
So could you tell the answer for that?
सॉल्व ही करता हूँ, रुक जाओ 1 मिनट और कर लो, फिर लेट मी सॉल्व दिस. अर्नव, ये भी करेक्ट नहीं है. 0 टाइम पे गलत दे रहा है. मानस, 0 टाइम पे गलत दे रहा है तुम्हारा तो. हाँ अन्वय, वो करेक्ट है.
Or could you solve?
चलो मैं सॉल्व करता हूँ. तो इसमें जो है लेट्स से कि एट सम टाइम, अगले पेज पे कर देते हैं. Let's say at some time t later, this one has already acquired plus q minus q, and so this has a remainder of this. ठीक है, और उस समय करंट I चल रहा है सर्किट में. This is before the steady state, meaning to say before the charges have finally settled to their final value and everything has stopped. This is some stage before that. अब KVL लिखेंगे हम सर्किट में. इस कैपेसिटर में भी फील्ड इस तरफ है, इस कैपेसिटर में भी फील्ड इस तरफ है. So if I start from here, I am jumping up. So that's q minus q by c minus IR minus q by c equals to 0. KVL. ठीक. So that's q minus 2q by c. अच्छा ये 2c था ना. So that's 2q minus 3q by 2c r equals to I, but I is the same as dq by dt, क्योंकि I के आने से q बढ़ रहा है. So that's a plus correctly. तो dq के नीचे कर लो 2q minus 3 small q, और इधर कर लो dt के नीचे 2rc. इंटीग्रेट. टाइम 0 पे q 0 था, तो टाइम t पे q कितना होगा, right? I probably should have taken q here because I was after this. q डायरेक्टली आया था, मुझे q minus q करना पड़ेगा, but that's okay. इसका इंटीग्रल सबको पता ही है. ये तो हो गया t by 2rc, ये हो गया ln with a minus 1 by 3, with the upper limit giving 2q minus 3q and the lower limit giving only 2q. So I have 1 minus 3q by 2q equals to e to the power minus 3t by 2rc. Therefore q is q by 2q by 3, 1 minus e to the power minus 3t by 2rc. इस सर्किट का टाइम कांस्टेंट जो है वो 2rc by 3 है. ठीक है. Therefore remaining charge here is q minus q. So वो तो तुम देख ही लोगे क्या आ रहा है. I mean कर लो माइनस. ठीक है. अच्छा, इस पे एक वेरिएशन ये हो सकता है that let's say फाइनल चार्जेस तो हमको पता ही है. फाइनली C पे जो है q by 3 बचना चाहिए, और 2C पे 2q by 3 बचना चाहिए, क्योंकि दोनों के अक्रॉस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस आइडेंटिकल आए, तो q by c का रेशियो बराबर आना चाहिए दोनों तरफ. अन्वय, करंट इज डिक्रीजिंग विद टाइम, राइट? बट जो यहाँ लिखा है वो करंट का डेरिवेटिव विद टाइम नहीं है, वो चार्ज का डेरिवेटिव विद टाइम है. द रिलेशनशिप इज करंट इज द करंट representing an increase of q with t or a decrease of q with t. What you're talking about is the second derivative of charge, which is the derivative of current, which is a negative quantity. The current is increasing, the charge is increasing and charge continues to increase, but the rate at which charge is increasing decreases. Right? So that would be current. So that would be the di by dt, but this is not about di by dt. This is about dq by dt. Got it? The only thing you have to check is, as per your drawing, is the direction of I causing an increase or decrease of q with time? When you have to put a sign on in front of a derivative, you have to check whether this thing is increasing with this or decreasing with this, and whether this represents that correctly. If so, there is a plus sign. Q is increasing with time if current is this way. So that's a plus sign. अगर मैंने यहाँ Q ले लिया होता, मैं इसको Q बोलता, रिमेनिंग को Q बोलता, Q माइनस Q, और इधर मेरे पास जो है Q माइनस Q आता और करंट ऐसे ही होता, so I would then represent minus dq by dt, because this Q would be decreasing with time, or you could say it would represent plus d by dt of Q minus Q. Since Q is a constant, it would again be minus dq by dt. ठीक है? By the way, इस सर्किट में जो करंट है एज अ फंक्शन ऑफ टाइम, वो भी तुम निकाल सकते हो, सिंस दैट्स डायरेक्टली dq by dt, that comes out to be 2q by 3 into 2rc by 3 by 2rc e की power minus 3t by 2rc. So that would be q by rc e to the power minus 3t by 2rc. That's the current as a function of time. Right? And you can take this current as a function of time, square it, multiply it to the resistance, which is the heat dissipated per second in the resistance as a function of time, and integrate it over all time to find the total heat loss. Or you can integrate it up to a finite time to find the heat loss up till that moment. And you will eventually find that this will be the difference in the energy of the capacitors total. Like initially you had q square by 2c energy and 0 here. So the total was q square by 2c. Now you have q square by 9 into 2, 18c here, and 4q square by 36c here, which if you add the two, you will get less than q square by 2c, what you had to begin with. And that less, the amount less is exactly here. I mean, the initial total energy and the final total energy difference is the heat loss, which you can find also. Either you can take the difference of capacitor energies, or you can integrate the power, thermal power in the resistance. Right? इसमें एक वेरिएशन ये हो सकती है कि let's say I have a capacitor C which has plus Q and minus Q to begin with. And I have a resistance here through which it will discharge. And I have a switch here which can bring another capacitor into the circuit when required. Let's say identical capacitance. Okay. So, and let's say this is a switch here which will start the discharge. This is S2, this is S1. Initially both of them are open. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा टेढ़ा बन गया सर्किट, मगर कोई बात नहीं. S1 is closed at t equals to 0. Then S2 is closed at t equals to RC by 4. find current in R as function of time. और बोथ बेसिकली बिफोर तो ठीक है, वो तो आई मीन लिख ही दो, ऐसी तुम लोगों को पता ही होता है आंसर। RC/4 तो से पहले तो पता ही है। Let me give you a better version of the question. Find current in R at t equals to RC. Value of the current, ठीक है, instead of function of time, which is the absolute value. Let us actually take a nicer time so that you have a better set of data to work with. RC ln 2. हो गया किसी का?
Sir, can you
Uh,
solve the sum? I mean, what's the answer?
I don't know. I'll solve it. We'll see.
Okay.
तो इसमें जो है पहले हम S1 क्लोज करेंगे t इक्वल टू 0 पे, तब तक ये गेम में नहीं है, डिस्चार्ज हो रहा है ये। तो इधर का जो स्टोरी है वो तो हमको पता ही है कि द रिमेनिंग चार्ज ऑन दिस कैपेसिटर लेट्स से कैपेसिटर 1 बोल देते हैं इसको, कैपेसिटर 2. So the remaining charge on the capacitor as a function of time is, you already know, q 1 minus e to the power minus t by rc. Sorry, without the अच्छा ना वेट करना है क्या? Are you doing still? तो at t equals to rc ln 2 कितना बचा होगा इस पे? q1 is q by 2, आधा चार्ज डिस्चार्ज हो चुका है तब तक, right? Then this is when the switch is thrown, ठीक है? ऑलरेडी डिस्चार्जिंग चल रही है, अब q by 2 बचा है इधर, q by 2 minus q by 2, and then this capacitor is brought into the thing. अब तुम्हें इसका KVL लिखना पड़ेगा with this capacitor also in the mix, उसके कुछ टाइम के बाद तुम लिखोगे, राइट? तुम बोलोगे कि इस पे जो है, मतलब एक तरीके से अब तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम यहाँ से स्टार्ट हो रहा है, you could even say new t equal to 0 हम स्टार्ट कर देंगे with this guy having plus q by 2 minus q by 2 and this capacitor also in the mix with no charge and there being a resistor. So you could say now you have a new t equal to 0 with this as the starting condition. You follow? तो आई गेस उसके बाद तुम समझ सकते हो क्या करना होगा, फिर से इक्वेशंस लिखने केवीएल के, बोलो इधर करंट आई है, इधर करंट आई डैश है, व्हाटएवर, इधर आई प्लस आई डैश है, राइट केवीएल, रिलेट दोज. वन थिंग विच इज बीइंग, मैं लिखता हूँ वो भी, वन थिंग विच इज बीइंग, सो दीज आर थिंग्स विच आर सॉर्ट ऑफ समटाइम्स इग्नोर्ड इन प्रॉब्लम्स. मतलब तुम्हें भी इग्नोर करना ही है, अगर तुम ऐसा प्रॉब्लम दिया होगा तो तुम्हें ऐसे ही सॉल्व करना है कि भाई ये आ गया, अब इसके बाद आगे लिख दो इक्वेशन, कहानी खत्म. स्ट्रिक्टली स्पीकिंग दो, since this resistor already has a current, I mean ये जो starting state है is not completely specified by saying that there is q by 2 and minus q by 2. There is also already a current in this part. There is also already a current in this resistor, right? Which is different from if you had simply said, okay, I had a capacitor and it had plus q by 2 and minus q by 2 to begin with, and then I started the problem. That problem would have a starting condition with zero current in the resistor. So our problem from this point onwards is actually in one sense different from that problem. although I'm pretending that it is the exact same problem. I'm ignoring that there is a current in the resistor. I'm saying that it will change instantaneously. I mean, given that the other capacitor has joined the game, immediately whatever current is required to make the situation will be here. Regardless of what current was here at this moment, there was already a current here, right? If you differentiate this, you find कि वो आ जाएगा तुम्हारा whatever जो भी value. तो ये चीज एक्चुअल में नहीं होता है क्योंकि एक्चुअल में there is induction, right? There is some inductance of the circuit, which when you study it properly, you say, okay, I have an inductor there. So you put some inductor there, which will not allow the current to suddenly change in this branch, in any branch. But if, because in this circuit, I have not put any inductor anywhere, so you are sort of allowed to act as if there is no inductance. Actual circuits में तो inductance होती है, circuit की अपनी ही inductance होती है. It's a current carrying loop, so it has a magnetic field. So if you suddenly abruptly want to change this current, you are doing something to the magnetic field. So the inductive effects will take over, there will be a back EMF and so on and so forth. So the current will not change abruptly, strictly speaking. Even if I have not explicitly drawn an inductive element, it is still not true that the current in the resistor could change its value in an instant. That is not true. But हमको ऐसे ही करना है क्योंकि हम इस मॉडल के साथ काम करते हैं कि अगर इंडक्टर नहीं बनाया है तो कोई इंडक्टेंस नहीं है वहां पर. Make sense? So therefore my problem, which is q by 2 and some current here, is basically equivalent to the problem q by 2 minus q by 2 and no current. Like this could be very well a starting problem. ठीक है, इसके आगे तुम लोग कर ही सकते हो. बोलो कि मैं अब बोल देता हूँ इसी को नया t इक्वल टू 0 बराबर. तो इधर मैं बोल दूंगा करंट I1 चल रही है, इधर मैं बोल दूंगा I2 चल रही है. तो इस ब्रांच में जो है I1 प्लस I2 चल रही है. दो इक्वेशंस लिखने पड़ेंगे क्योंकि दो वेरिएबल्स हैं I1 I2, तो दो KVL लिखने पड़ेंगे. एंड लेट अस से कि t टाइम में इधर जो है रिमेनिंग चार्ज q बचा है, माइनस q बचा है. टोटल चार्ज तो कंजर्व्ड ही है, तो ऑलरेडी फिर इधर q by 2 माइनस q कहाँ गया? नहीं, टोटल चार्ज एक्चुअली कंजर्व नहीं है इस प्रॉब्लम में.
तो सेकंड केवीएल इक्वेशन से वो उन दोनों का रिलेशन आ जाता है.
कुछ लेना पड़ेगा. यू ऑल एग्री कि इसमें चार्ज कंजर्व नहीं है. अगर ये रेजिस्टर नहीं होता तो ये साइड अपर हाफ ऑफ द सर्किट और लोअर हाफ ऑफ द सर्किट में कोई फिजिकल कनेक्शन नहीं है. चार्ज कैपेसिटर को जंप तो कर नहीं सकता, तो जो भी चार्ज इधर के साइड में है वो उधर ही रहता है. ठीक है, रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाता है, इस पे क्यू में से कुछ पार्ट उस पर चला जाता और उसका नेगेटिव इफेक्ट नीचे होता. बट विद दिस रेजिस्टर इन प्लेस, योर फाइनल सिचुएशन इज बेसिकली ऑफ नो चार्ज ऑन ईदर कैपेसिटर, नॉट ऑफ इक्वल चार्ज ऑन बोथ, राइट. फाइनल जो लॉन्ग टर्म सिचुएशन है इसका वो ये है कि किसी पे भी, क्योंकि अगर इन पे चार्ज है प्लस प्लस और माइनस माइनस, तो यहाँ पे हाई पोटेंशियल है या लो पोटेंशियल है, विच विल ड्राइव अ करंट विच विल बेसिकली ड्रेन बोथ कैपेसिटर्स थ्रू द रेजिस्टर, राइट. तो इसीलिए हमें कुछ और लेना पड़ेगा. हम चार्ज कंजर्वेशन तो नहीं लगा सकते. हम बोल देंगे कि भाई ऐसा कर लो कि इधर जो है इसके अपर प्लेट पे मान लो क्यू प्राइम है और लोअर प्लेट पे माइनस क्यू प्राइम, with the ultimate outcome being all the charges are 0. So now we have to write two KVL equations. पहले मैं लिखूंगा इस लूप में प्लस q by c माइनस I1R इक्वल्स टू 0, और इस लूप में लिखूंगा इसमें एक्चुअली पंगा हो जाएगा. इसमें लिखूंगा मैं q by c minus q prime by c equals to 0. ठीक है, I2 का कोई रेलिवेंस ही नहीं आएगा, जो कि होना ही चाहिए क्योंकि हर इंस्टेंट पे ट्रू है कि इन दोनों के अक्रॉस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस सेम है, इवन अप टिल द पॉइंट व्हेन दे बिकम 0. मेक सेंस? क्योंकि ये पूरा चीज का एक ही पोटेंशियल है, यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ तक एक ही पोटेंशियल है, तो अपर दोनों प्लेट्स एक पोटेंशियल पर हैं, लोअर दोनों प्लेट्स एक पोटेंशियल पर हैं, तो एट एवरी मोमेंट आल्सो दे हैव द सेम पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस, एंड सिंस दे आर इक्वल कैपेसिटेंसेस दे हैव इक्वल चार्जेस आल्सो, तो दैट मींस q इक्वल्स टू q प्राइम. ये बात हो गई, मतलब उसके बाद किसी भी इंस्टेंट पे जो है इस पे जो चार्ज है वही उस पे चार्ज है. ठीक है, actually it would have been better if I had taken a resistor here, क्योंकि इस प्रॉब्लम में अल्टीमेटली ये बेसिकली क्योंकि इसमें बाउंड्री कंडीशंस वेल डिफाइंड नहीं है, तो इसीलिए ऐसा सिचुएशन हो जा रहा है. प्रॉब्लम तो सॉल्व हो ही गई है, स्ट्रिक्टली स्पीकिंग द प्रॉब्लम इज सॉल्व्ड राइट हियर because it's only I1 in R and I1 is directly related to Q. I2 is related to Q prime and Q prime and Q are the same, so I1 and I2 are also the same, therefore 2I का relationship है बस यहाँ पर, मतलब dq by dt
So,
is
but
2I.
as time goes, won't the value of q and q dash change? Specific time पे पूछा है ना, current क्या है तो.
हाँ, they will change with time, but they will be equal to each other. That is the problem. The problem is by connecting it in this manner, we are getting this condition, right?
Yes, sir.
Technically, there has to be a resistance here which saves us from this kind of a situation. Because क्योंकि resistor नहीं है, तो automatically implication आ जा रहा है कि हर instant पे इन दोनों के across same potential है, क्योंकि ये पूरा चीज ऊपर का एक ही potential है, तो ये उससे directly फिर ये हो जा रहा है, उसका मतलब कि दोनों पे same charge है, which is not possible at t equal to 0, because t equal to 0 पे तुम्हारा situation ही था कि इस पे q/2 और minus q/2 और इस पे 0 0 है. There is no logical step to go from the starting condition to the situation where they both have equal amount of charge. This cannot abruptly acquire plus q/2, right?
Yes, sir.
So ideally there has to be another resistor here. That will save us from this problem, because since there will be a resistor here and there is a current here, this potential will be different from this potential, so the potential difference across this will differ from this, right? But I think an even more reasonable problem would be to get rid of the capacitor itself and simply say there used to be a resistor here which is then brought into the picture, and let's say that is 2R. ठीक है, कैपेसिटर डालने से प्रॉब्लम हो जा रही है क्योंकि कैपेसिटर इस पे कंडीशन इंपोज कर रहा है कि दोनों पे सेम पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस आना चाहिए ऑटोमेटिकली, और ये पूरा एक ही सिंगुलर नोड है, राइट? तो वो ऑब्वियसली either it is true that they both have the same charge later, but that means they cannot, I mean that does not smoothly join to t equal to 0. That situation does not smoothly join to t equal to 0, because at t equal to 0 they definitely don't have the same charge. So from not having same charge to having same charge, how do they go there, right? That's an abrupt jump. तो वो प्रॉब्लम के उसमें है, स्पेसिफिकेशन में प्रॉब्लम है, ये मैंने ऐसे बना दिया इसको. So it is basically ending up violating the logical connection. Problem जो है अपनी ही boundary condition के साथ fit नहीं हो रहा है. Instead, if you have a resistance, then there is no problem. The resistance will come into picture, and now you have already a capacitor discharging, and additional resistance will effectively change the total resistance through which it is discharging, right? तो यहाँ तक तो वो सेम ही होगा कि इतना चार्ज बचा है, उसके बाद का स्टोरी तुम रेजिस्टर की तरह सॉल्व कर लो, इसको ट्राई कर लेना. आई होप तुम लोग समझ गए होगे, इसमें ये प्रॉब्लम भी समझ गए होगे. Did you guys understand what the problem is? That we are getting this condition, and this condition does not smoothly join to t equal to 0. ठीक है? But anyway, do this problem. You can try this problem. And the interesting thing to see in this problem would be for you to make a plot of the current as a function of time. Try doing that. Later you can do it. When you have a single resistance through which the capacitor is discharging, there's a nice exponential drop of current. With another capacitor with another resistor brought in later, there is a change in the current, and then there is a drop or falling off of the current. So that you can consider this as the problem and plot I as a function of time also. ठीक है, all right? इसमें बोल रहे आशुतोष नहीं, उससे कुछ होगा नहीं. The issue is that I am connecting them directly to the same potential, and therefore I am getting the condition that they must have the same potential difference at all times, which is obviously violated right at t equal to 0. I have to either connect them via resistor or something. The current flowing from here must go through some resistance before it gets here. जैसे जो problem हमने इससे पहले किया, that problem is not facing that issue. Because of this. इसमें भी इनका potential difference same होना चाहिए. But that's only the boundary condition, meaning at infinite time. After the current has stopped, the potential difference across the resistor will be 0. So this and this point will be at same potential. So the left plates will be at same potential. The right plates are anyway at same potential. So they have the same potential difference. So we know कि finally इन पे charges जो हैं ये होंगे. But that's only at infinite time. That's at one moment. Right? That is not a requirement at all times. In fact, initially that will not be the case. These two plates are not at the same potential to begin with, because if they were, why would the current even go there? यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं हम, basically जो rules हैं electric current और potential के, उनको abuse किया जा रहा है. I'm saying this is a charge capacitor. I'm saying this is an uncharged capacitor, which basically means, and I'm saying there is a current. But since there is no resistance in the upper branch, the whole upper branch is at one potential. There is no resistance in the lower branch, that is also at one potential. So automatically मैं फंस गया उधर जाके, जहाँ पे मेरे को कहना पड़ रहा है दोनों में same potential difference है, दोनों same potential पर. Obviously the things are basically conflicting with each other. Current is going even though there is no potential difference. It can be at one moment, it can't be throughout true, which is what is happening here, right? So anyway, do this version with R brought in and make a plot of IT. That would be a nice problem to solve. इलेक्ट्रिक करंट के तुम लोगों ने इस टाइप के प्रॉब्लम्स किए हैं क्या? You know that Ohm's law is J equals to sigma E.
Yes, sir.
So for example, if I say that there is some kind of a thing in which there is a cross section and there is a current I flowing, but the regions have different resistivities, let's say.
Yes, sir, we have done.
अच्छा ठीक है. हाँ, Ashutosh, charge will accumulate anytime you have different conductivities and there is a current flowing. In steady state there will be some accumulation of charge. That accumulation of charge will produce a field in both directions, like an infinite plane. And because one of them is more conducting than the other, but you want the same current through, so obviously the charged plane that will accumulate there will push back on the one which is more conducting and push ahead on the one which is less conducting, so as to sort of smoothen out the flow, right? इसका एक इंटरेस्टिंग प्रॉब्लम ये होता है, बाय द वे, ये किया तुम लोगों ने, एक इंटरफेस है, ठीक है, इधर कंडक्टिविटी सिग्मा 1 है, इधर कंडक्टिविटी सिग्मा 2 है, और करंट डेंसिटी जो है, which is a vector by the way, is coming like this at some theta, and it is going into the second medium at some other theta. ये क्या है तुम लोगों ने प्रॉब्लम?
No, sir.
ठीक है, इसको ट्राई कर लो. ये करंट डेंसिटी है, सो इसमें भी एक सॉर्ट ऑफ लॉ ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन टाइप, रिफ्रैक्शन टाइप बन जाता है, ठीक है. ये इस बेसिस पर है. I will have to tell you a few basic facts. So when there is an interface and you have some current density coming in, J, which is from the medium 1, and this is medium 2. So this is J1 vector and maybe some J2. So J1 vector I can break into some J1 vector ka component in X and J1 vector ka component in Y. And then J2 is the current density in the other medium, which is a vector. And that can also be broken into J2 ka Y and J2 का X. ठीक है. और ये मीडियम जो है सिग्मा 1 कंडक्टिविटी का है, सिग्मा 2 कंडक्टिविटी का है. तो एक फैक्ट ये होता है कि जब हमारे पास सडन चेंज ऑफ मीडिया होता है दो तरफ, अब्रप्ट चेंज, तो इधर भी कुछ इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड है ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि जे है टेढ़ा मेढ़ा तो इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड भी होगा, और इधर भी कुछ इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड होगा. तो इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड जो 1 में है उसका भी एक एक्स कंपोनेंट है और एक वाई कंपोनेंट है, और इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड जो इस मीडियम 2 में है उसका भी एक एक्स कंपोनेंट और एक वाई कंपोनेंट है. राइट. तो जो उनके ये वाले कंपोनेंट्स हैं यानी E1x और E2x, यानी जो कंपोनेंट्स पैरेलल टू द इंटरफेस हैं इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड के, उनका ये फीचर होता है कि E1x जो है वो E2x के बराबर होता है. This follows from this fact. You know that in electrostatics, the line integral of an electrostatic field around a closed path is 0. You already know that law, right? So if you go to the interface and take a loop, एक loop लेना है तो ऐसा loop ले लो जो कि ऐसे तो decent size का है, ऐसे arbitrarily छोटा है. So you will traverse somewhat in medium 2, then take a small jump into medium 1, traverse opposite in medium 1 and take a small jump. And you can make this arbitrarily small. Right? So you are going like this and like this and like this. इस पे अगर तुम इंटीग्रल ई डी एल इक्वल टू 0 लगाओगे तो इधर वो होगा, मान लो इसकी लेंथ l है, तो इधर से वो हो जाएगा E2x इंटू एल. इधर तुम बोल रहे हो हम आर्बिट्ररली छोटा कर देंगे तो 0. इधर से हो जाएगा ऊपर का E1x उधर है और l ऐसे जा रहे हो तुम, तो वो हो जाएगा माइनस E1x इंटू एल, और इधर आर्बिट्ररली छोटा 0. इससे you get the condition that the parallel components of the electrical field, the components that are parallel to the interface, are equal. ठीक है, that's one fact. And there is also a relationship between the perpendicular components of J itself. That relationship is कि J1y is equals to J2y. Can any of you tell why this should be true? It's based on a very basic idea.
So Gauss
नहीं, गॉस लॉ लगाने के लिए तो फिर चार्ज देखना पड़ेगा इंटरफेस पे कितना है, उस सब में मैं जा ही नहीं रहा हूँ. ये एक बहुत ही बेसिकली ट्रू स्टेटमेंट है कि अगर एक इंटरफेस है और कुछ आर्बिट्ररी करंट आ रही है, आर्बिट्ररी करंट जा रही है, तो उनके जो नॉर्मल कंपोनेंट्स हैं वो इक्वल होने चाहिए करंट के, व्हिच इज अ फ्लो ऑफ चार्जेस. हाँ, यस आशुतोष, करेक्ट. एनीबॉडी एल्स? बेसिकली कंजर्वेशन ऑफ चार्ज. इफ यू आर इन अ स्टेडी स्टेट, maybe the interface has some accumulation of charge, but it has stopped, right? There is some final, these are steady state conditions. We are only studying steady state electrodynamics. The magnitude, direction of nothing is changing with time. So whatever charge is there is fixed. It's neither increasing nor decreasing. The current is also fixed in magnitude and direction. This is also fixed in magnitude and direction. So if you take these components, which are in the same line, then whatever charge comes in per second must go out per second. Otherwise, there will be an additional time varying accumulation of charge here. This is simply conservation of charge. If a current density vector is here and a different current density vector follows it in the same direction, then if there is no accumulation of charge here or no destruction of charge from here, then the charge in per second must equal the charge out per second from here. Does this make sense? This is simply conservation of charge. The x components of current density don't have to be equal. because they are not following one after the other. J2x is in this direction, so it's only J2x, 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 which automatically means charge is conserved. J2x in, J2x out. J1x उधर कुछ और है जो अपना पूरा एक लाइन में सेम रहता है. They don't follow each other that they must be equal for charge conservation. But J1y and J2y are in the same direction. So whatever charge is being brought to the interface per second must leave the interface per second. That's the meaning of this statement. So utilizing these two statements, can you find the law of refraction relating these four quantities? I mean, it's not really a law of refraction, but it looks like that, so we call it that. All you need is just this concept. And Ohm's law, of course. Arnav, I'll take superposition after this. Correct, Ashutosh.
Done, sir.
तो हम बोलेंगे इसमें कि J1y जो है वो तो J2y के बराबर ही है, और क्योंकि E1x E2x के बराबर है, and utilizing J equals to sigma E का component version, that means since E is J by sigma, then that means J1x by sigma 1 is the same as J2x by sigma 2. I have simply replaced E with the corresponding J by sigma. और tan theta जो है वो है J1y by J1x, and tan theta 2 जो है वो है J2y, क्योंकि वो उसका डायरेक्शन है, J का डायरेक्शन का, तो वो J1y J1x by J1y है, and similarly there J2x which is which means therefore dividing tan theta 1 by tan theta 2 is sigma 1 by sigma 2, which is your one could say Snell's law for current density. ठीक है. ओम्स लॉ का एक यूज ये भी होता है, actually let's leave that aside. Let's do a problem on Gauss law. अभी ब्रेक लेना है या ब्रेक ले लेते हैं? ठीक है, चलो. We start at 12:05. ठीक है.